everybody, before you watch the video, make sure you follow the page, like the video. Hope you enjoy.
If I was gonna ever fight Anton, like, you know, and hopefully that never happens.
Me too. I've hoped that never happens.
Here in training, it's already happy. For me, it's already my challenge. But the best technique, it's actually avoid. Do not engage. It's the best thing.
And you get some amazing players who can do that. So, I mean,
correct.
Kit Dale is phenomenal at this. Like, he can just shut down things as he goes. And it's like, I can't
Has
even...
amazing balanced low center of gravity as well, like to stall a bit, like, you know, without, still emotion.
Yeah, and I've heard people say this. It's like, you know, I've rolled with Craig and I've rolled with Lockie, and, you know, they'll let me play around and I'll get to a position, I'll hit a sweep, and then they'll beat me. With Kit, you just can't move from the get-go. It's like, I can't get to a guard. Like, my feet are just dangling around uselessly, and he's filling up more and more space until he passes. It's, again, learning how to play that game, and it's just like, that's his game, and he's so good at it.
Absolutely.
And I actually don't think I've ever met anyone as good at it as him. Then you get people like, I was rolling with Craig Jones last weekend, and it feels like you're getting ahead. It feels like that.
It's a trap. Yeah.
It's a trap, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I've mounted him. Oh, I'm tapping. Wait, I just got to mount. Why am I tapping? And it's him just playing around with you because he knows, okay, well, I can let you do whatever you want. You're not going to submit me.
I call that controlled freedom.
It definitely is. That's a good one. It definitely is. Whereas he's giving me the freedom to move around, but it's all under control. He knows exactly what's happening. Yeah. But, you know, Anton, I've seen your game be the same, where you're competing at different rule sets every other weekend.
Yeah.
And it changes. I don't know if you're doing that deliberately.
No, I mean, my style's the same.
Oh,
Just trying to finish everyone.
I know that, but it's like it's like I still see you playing within the rules all the time. Sometimes it works in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. You know, I'm thinking the last Boa, I was like that. You got shot in for the single and got caught in that. I can't even call it a guillotine. Headlock. Yeah. And then they gave the points to Charles because you hit the boundary.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh.
I mean,
rough.
I've had many, but man, I just keep trying. Like, this is the thing. Like I think as a competitor or as an athlete or whatever, like you're gonna lose sometimes, you're gonna win sometimes. That's a part of the game, and you just have to continue to go and compete. And I don't think like me losing these things or whatever like affects like the merit of your ability. You know what I mean? Like if you're good, you will go and all right, you didn't win this one, but you might win the next one.
Yep.
Or if you if you're consistently competing and doing well, that shows the merit of the athlete or the competitor. So. Man, yeah, I know. I mean, I've lost many fights which I should have won, or many fights that, you know, I was better than the guy, or won many fights. That's a part of competing, man. You think you're better, or maybe you are better. Maybe if you trained in the gym, or if you did another 100 fights, you'd win 90 of them.
Yep.
That's life, man.
Yep.
You lost.
But like, it's one thing that so we had what was the competition here last weekend, the Brisbane Open or whatever it was. It was a QBJJC one.
Oh, yeah.
But I had some students go in that, and one of the girls came back and she was a little bit upset. I won 2, I lost 2. I said, so, but at the end of the day, like, you had fun, you learned something, and she's like, yeah, well, no, it was really good, and I learned a lot. And I'm like, well, it also took away 2 silver medals, so it's, you know, you lost, both of the losses were in the final, and you can't complain about that. And to break it down even further, I'm just going to be brutally honest. No one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares if you win or lose.
Yeah.
No one cares.
You do. Yeah.
It's just you. Yeah. It's all down to personal. So for me as a coach, like I'm always telling my students, go out there, give it a shot. I don't care if you win, lose or draw. we come back in and we start again on Monday. Okay, so you come back in on Monday and we look at what happened and we start fixing those problems.
That's the funny thing. The loss actually brings more learning than the win.
But a lot of people that do compete or start to compete, they feel that way. Because we've had students here say exactly the same thing. They're like,
what are you gonna think?
I feel like I've let
Let
down
you
the
down.
gym
Yeah,
and all this
we
stuff
had
like that.
that
It's like,
sometimes.
man,
it's
we've
it's
said
you.
this. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
all you.
And I think that's actually a good thing. Like, you should have pride in like trying your best and trying to win.
Definitely.
But like, don't beat yourself up if you don't succeed. Like,
Again, it's just a failure.
Yeah.
You'll use it as a learning tool. You get back in and you go, okay, well, how do I fix what wasn't working on the weekend? And I'd have students rock up to my house after a competition. The competition was on the Sunday. They'd be at my house 6 a.m. on a Monday, no pad in hand, ready to go. Like, okay, let's work on these problems. This is what happened in the competition. And I'm like, you are my favorite student. Because you're doing my job for me. I don't have to sit there and analyze the issues that you had, for starters. You're being self-critical. And but being realistic, you're not beating yourself up. You just come back with problems and going, okay, how do we fix this?
It's funny. I say that all the time for the students to try have that understanding and bring some, like about themselves. You know what I mean? Like questions that actually happen in the game. And I found that people find this very difficult. You know what I mean? To have this self-analysis. For some reason, not many people can do that.
No, definitely not. And it because it's hard to look at yourself and be critical.
Doesn't feel nice.
It doesn't feel
all
nice.
the time, but that's how you improve, right?
It does, yeah,
That's how
definitely.
you can improve when your weakness.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the video. If you haven't yet already, make sure you subscribe, like, and again, go and check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, like all our platforms. Give us a follow at bjj.101 on Instagram, and go and check out bjj101.com.au to access the full video library.